Today we are doing a this or that with the new Valentino Born in Roma Extra Dose versus Valentino Born in Roma Intense. This one came out before Extra Dose, and there's been loads of flankers recently in this line. We had the Rockstud Noir that came out a few months ago. You might have missed it because it didn't really, I don't think it did that well. You've also got Green Extravaganza. That's another one that came out about 9 or 10 months ago. I think maybe it came out last year. But in this video, we're doing Extra Dose versus Intense. These two, I think, are two of the best fragrances in the line. At the end, I'll talk to you about my favourite fragrance in the Valentino Roma line. But these are two of the best ones and two of the most popular, I would say. Extra Dose is the newest fragrance in the line. And I think Extra Dose is going to be one of those flankers that perhaps a lot of other brands start to call their flagship most strongest fragrances. You know when Dior Sauvage Elixir came out and then suddenly every brand started releasing an Elixir fragrance as their flagship, as their strongest fragrance in the line. I could see that being one I could see Extra Dose being that name that these designer brands go to. So we could end up having like an Intense, an Elixir, a Parfum and an Extra Dose. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I don't know if you've seen what Jean Paul Gaultier have done with their Le Male Elixir. They have now Le Male Elixir Absolute. So we're just going from Elixir and going even further. I think it's a bit crazy, and these flankers are coming really quickly, and most of them don't really change the original that much. There's just slight deviations in them, to which point it's actually pointless owning both. And I'm going to tell you it's probably pointless owning this and the Intense that we're going to look at in a minute. So Extra Dose, I really like this. It's really formal, it's mature. It's the most mature fragrance in their line, I would say. It starts off with an almost spiciness in it. It's a ginger and nutmeg smell, but you have a strong, I would say, a masculine lavender note. The lavender is not one of those realistic lavender fragrances. Like I've got one from Caron, a Caron fragrance, and Tom Ford Lavender Extreme, where the lavender smells really natural. But in here, it doesn't smell like a natural smelling lavender. And the issue is with Extra Dose is if you smell it really up close or you spray a lot, it has a sort of synthetic smell. So, you know, if you go into a fragrance shop and you've got the smell in the air of all the different fragrances that people have been spraying on tester strips and on themselves, and it's an amalgamation of different smells, different aroma chemicals in the air, and it has that, it smells like perfume, but it smells like a sort of mismatch a synthetic smell. That's sort of what you get in here if you smell it too closely or spray too much. It hasn't got a very natural smell. It doesn't really matter necessarily. Not all fragrances need to smell natural. It's lavender, it's clean woods, and it's spices, but not sweet, wintry spices. More clean, clinical, professional smelling spices. But this has decent performance, I think, for a designer fragrance. Out of all of the options that I've got, it's a very strong performing designer fragrance. So this could be worn to any situation, Extra Dose. There is no situation where you wouldn't be able to wear this. And it hasn't really, to me, it hasn't really got any sort of seasonal qualities. It's not one I would say, oh, it's a summer fragrance, it's a winter fragrance, or a date night fragrance, or anything like that. It's really just a signature scent worthy fragrance for someone to wear to any situation. If you want to wear this to work or on a date night, going out to a restaurant, it suits all of those situations, which I think is quite good because it suits someone who only wants one fragrance to wear and a fragrance strong enough to last all day. So this one is spicy. It's clean woods with a slightly synthetic lavender smell. Okay, so Intense. This one was really popular when it first came out. My website, visionaryfragrances.com, we sell samples, and we sold out of this a few times because it was really popular. Now this one is a bit more playful, a bit more youthful, a bit more fun than the Extra Dose. It has a vanilla note. The vanilla note is strong with a fruity note. It has a fruity opening, maybe like red fruits. I'm not sure exactly what fruit it is. It's not citrus fruits. It's sort of a bit juicy, a bit sweet mixed with this vanilla. There might be vanilla in Extra Dose, but I can't really smell it that well. This smells, I think, nicer. I think I prefer the smell of this. It smells a bit more interesting. I love the vanilla note mixed with the lavender, with the clean woods, with the fruity notes. Just smells like a really nice, easygoing fragrance, a bit more playful, a bit more like a younger person could wear this, but it's still clean enough. It's still versatile enough that you could wear this as a signature scent to any situation. Very much like Extra Dose, where I was saying it hasn't really got a season. It's the same for this. This is a signature scent you could wear to office, on a date, winter, summer, doesn't matter. You could wear this anywhere. But the difference between this and Extra Dose is this doesn't have as long-lasting performance on my skin as Extra Dose. When I spray Extra Dose on my skin, it just lasts longer than this does. But I think I prefer the smell of this. I think the sweetness is just more my style, but it also remains that cleanness and has a professional vibe that doesn't make it a really sort of sweet, cloying fragrance. It just has the right amount of sweetness mixed with the lavender and the woods. So out of these two, I think if you're looking for the more mature professional scent that has a longer lasting quality, I think Extra Dose is the one that you should go for. But if you want something that's slightly less longer lasting, slightly less performance, but not bad performance, just slightly less than Extra Dose, but you like the idea of having the vanilla sweetness, something that's a bit more interesting to wear, maybe something that you're not going to get bored of as quickly, I think Womo Intense is the one to go for. But to sum it up shortly, cleaner, more professional, longer lasting, more playful, still professional enough, and doesn't have as long performance. Now, my favourite fragrance in this Womo line is Womo Intense, which is over here somewhere. This is one of the first, I think this is the second fragrance that came out in this line. You had the original Womo, and then you had this. Now, Womo Intense smells a bit like Dior Homme Intense, a bit like Givenchy Gentleman EDP, but it's a bit more rough. It's a bit more, not rough, that's the wrong word. It's just a bit more it's not as smooth, it's not as easygoing as those fragrances. It smells a bit more like someone who's not as clean shaven. You know, it could be worn to a nightclub. It's that kind of smell. It has sweet vanilla iris with a sort of designery style leather, not a leather note that's obvious. But I find this to be really interesting, and it's my favorite in the Womo line. Let me know your thoughts on these fragrances. And out of Extra Dose and Womo Intense, which one would you go for?